Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis, and welcome to another week of Living the Wiccan Life. This week, we're coming to you from Columbus, Ohio, and the 19th Annual Universal Light Expo. And I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself if you would, not that you really need to.
Okay. Well, sometimes I wonder who I am myself. I'm Raymond Buckland. I've written a number of books on various aspects of metaphysics. I love writing, which is why I had my first article published when I was about 12 years old, and I've never looked back from there. My first book published in 1969. I've written about 60 since then. I've been translated into 17 foreign languages. And my father was a writer, and he inspired me, and this, I think, gave me my love of writing. And I'm never going to have enough time to write all the books I want to write. I have so many ideas. I'm usually writing 2 or 3 books at the same time. I've more recently found that I much prefer writing fiction to non-fiction, although the majority of my books are non-fiction. But I've got a couple of novels out at the moment. I've got 3 more coming out probably next year. I've just finished a large fantasy novel, Tolkien type of fantasy novel, and right now I'm working on another sort of mystery novel which is based loosely on the Golden Dawn and the Illuminati.
You're certainly one of the most prolific writers that I have knowledge of. And I believe you wrote some television screenplays at one time, didn't you?
Some screenplays, yes, not for TV. Yes, I wrote about 6 of them, none of which actually made it to the screen. Some came very close, but this is typical. Most of them, in fact, I think all of them I wrote when I was living in San Diego. And of course I was close to LA, so I could hop up there. I worked very closely for some years with John Carradine, the old character actor, and he put me in touch with Vincent Price. I worked with Bill Friedkin, who directed The Exorcist and other things. Let's see, I worked closely with Dean Semler, he won an Oscar as cinematographer for Dances with Wolves. And in fact, I was doing one screenplay for him. He wanted to do some directing rather than cinematography. And in fact, I was working on that the weekend before the Oscars. We were there together. And then on the Tuesday, I think it was, he went and won the Oscar. And then the following weekend, we were working again on the screenplay. So I got lots of photographs of myself holding the Oscar. But yes, I did a number of screenplays. Francis Ford Coppola had one of them, which he held on to for a long, long time. But for various reasons, none of them ever actually got there.
You have been, as you say, you've been writing a very long time. You've been in the metaphysical community a very long time. You've been formative to the Wiccan community. Mm-hmm. And I guess I would like to ask you what kind of changes you have seen in your career.
Well, incredible changes over the years. I introduced Wicca to this country in 1963, beginning of 64, and of course it's grown incredibly since then. So it's amazing to me how much it's grown and to what extent it's accepted. I've seen a lot of changes with it. For instance, originally Gerald Gardner and myself, we referred to it as witchcraft and called ourselves witches. And then gradually a movement started saying, well, let's call ourselves Wicca so that people don't think we're the old style witches. And Gerald and I both said, well, if you change your name, how long before people say, well, they call themselves so-and-so, but they're really witches? So we figured it was much more important to educate people on the misconceptions of witches and witchcraft. But gradually, I guess the other side, as it were, took hold. And these days, people think of Gardnerian and similar types as Wicca. And they apply the word witchcraft to just spell casting and magic and what have you. And of course you get a lot of what we often call fluffy bunny types who want to cast spells, want to do magic, And really, if that's all they want to do, then they can do that. They don't have to be witches, they're magicians. So you can do magic, you can be a magician, you don't have to call yourself a witch. But anyway, this is the way things are going, and I think in some ways it's a shame. I think witchcraft is getting diluted to the point where it doesn't really mean anything. There's still the hardcore Wicca, what's now called Wicca, which is the religious aspects, the belief in the gods, the celebration of the Sabbats and Esbats and so on. There's that hardcore, and I think that will always remain. But outside that, it's got to the point almost where anybody can say and do anything and say this is witchcraft, and nobody can say no, it's not, because we've lost the borderlines, if you like, of it.
What would you like to see change in the future?
I would like to see witchcraft established even more so as a recognized religion. I mean, we've made tremendous strides in that direction. It's recognized in so many places. Just recently we've had it accepted that we can put pentacles on the headstones of soldiers and so on who've died in the war. So we've made tremendous strides there. And let me acknowledge Selena Fox, who has done so much in that direction. She's a wonderful mover and shaker. I would like to see more of that, to the point where you can go in just about anywhere and talk about witchcraft and Wicca and accept it as, yes, just another religion. I doubt that we will get to that, because we've always got the fundamentalist Christians there who will never accept anything other than their own versions of things. But I would like to see a more positive step in that direction.
My last question. We were talking before that you've come to this show many times, and let me ask, what do you like about this particular show?
It's close to home. It's only a 2-hour drive away. It's a large show with a lot of variety. It's been going for some time, so it's well established. But I think it is the variety. It draws so many wonderful people here. The exhibitors are all wonderful people, and the people who come here are. I've met all sorts of incredible people, and they're all sincere, and I think this is probably the key word, sincerity, with this show. Everybody seems sincere in their interests, both the booths and the people who come.
Well, thank you very much.
My pleasure, believe me. Thank you.
Thank you.